Language is a limited tool, and it doesn't take very difficult thinking to come to this conclusion. There are a set amount of words. There are a set amount of ways you can combine those words in a given amount of time. And the more words you use to describe an experience, the more room for error in the translation there is for the person you're telling to not understand you. There are so many feelings and experiences and phenomenon that we lack the language to explain. And it limits our ability to wrap our heads around these experiences.
It also limits our ability to have certain experiences, because if we're not aware that certain things are a possibility, our minds won't even be open to them.
The word "it" might be the most important word in the English language, because it perks people up. When people use the word "it," the most likely thing they are doing is describing something that was just referenced. They are bringing up a thing that was referenced so that they can talk more about it. It's like a placeholder. It's like putting down a flag. The word "it" comes up when something already exists.
I want to go ahead and say that an ocean displays millions and millions of waves, but you would never call a wave an ocean. And no matter how you combine all these waves, you will never get an ocean. There's a difference between a direct display of something and all the parts, all the pieces of that thing making that display happen.
So, language is limited, but it's also a very good example of a principle that I am obsessed with, which is the mirroring of a thing to the process which created that thing.
I'm going to skip this part because it's just a couple examples that set the tone for the principle that I'm trying to explain.
The development of the entire human species. Now, this theory was proven to be not exactly 100% accurate, but that is a perfect example of what I'm trying to say. The way that things individually happen mimic the way that the entire universe works. This is a conclusion you come to when you look at a picture of the networks in the neural synapses that are happening in your brain and the networks that the galaxies and cosmos are comprised of. You know, the edges of a tree line and the edges of the iris of your eye. These are patterns that exist based on functionalities of the universe as a whole. They're little windows into the way that the whole thing works. The word "it" is a way to make things real. It is a way to temporarily permanize. And my personal philosophy is that things that happen are not temporary, they're permanent. What is temporary is our first-person perspective. The past exists. It would be so dumb if the past wasn't real. When we die, we have access to everything. That's my theory.
So now it's possible to think of the universe as a future that already exists, that is basically taking the moment we're in and stripping away its temporal location and moving us forward in time by dissolving each moment to build the next one. You know what I'm saying? And so, back to what I previously started this clip with, an octopus is an octopus. Yes? And it can wave all 8 of its legs in any way it wants to, but each wave is a little version of what the octopus actually is. It's something that it can do. Now, if you were to measure the tentacle and see how fast it's going, and now you're capable of understanding the speed of the muscles of the octopus, you know, you could look at each individual aspect like that to try to understand the whole, but all of its parts added up are still going to be subsequential to the possibilities that are beheld in the entire system. And this may be an explanation to why we have trouble bridging quantum physics with the real world, because when you look at something circuitry, you know, you're looking away from the whole thing. You can't zoom in without zooming in, you know what I mean? It's weird to try to explain it.
Conclusion you come to when you look at a picture of the networks in the neural synapses that and put it in a coordinate to everything.
When we die.
So the word "it" is a way to take arbitrary information and put it in a coordinate. This is what that is, period. It's an hard burden when I meet God. Johnny Appleseed on the tree farm. I'm thinking that the more time we take to develop our language, the more accurate we are going to be with our descriptions of events, phenomena, thoughts, feelings. Take me seriously when I say that interpretive dance is just as meaningful form of language as English. Facial expressions, tone of voice, no system, whether it be a block of Jenga sticks or no system, whether it be the numbers 1 through 100 or 1 through 1,000, can display as many properties as that system displays, because no matter how many ways you combine 1 through 100, and each time that you do, you are a
100 is not the same thing as 50 plus 50, because 100 is also 99 plus 99. It's also 101 minus 1.
affecting not only the entire system, but that is the moment when you realize they have less to do with that system's languages. They're not emergent of the properties of the system. They are a direct result of the system. They are a direct facet of the system. You see what I mean? So no matter how you add them up, there's always something outside of your conclusion. And this is the space in the universe that is constantly expanding. It's expanding outside of light because light has to have somewhere to go. The whole universe can't express itself in a perfect way, so what does it do? It makes leaves that have veins that
look
can't
like
do
rivers.
it for us. But it can't do it for us.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have free will.
They have less to do